Hey everybody, it is Saturday, April 17th, and we're really happy to share these pups with you. There are a lot of puppies in here. If you're counting, there's 12 of them, and that's a record for us. We've had several litters over the years of 11 pups, but Fern decided to one-up everybody else and have 12 puppies. So there are quite a few in here for her to take care of, and she has done an amazing job. So these pups were born April 15th. They weren't due till the 17th. With this many pups, I think Fern decided, hey, enough's enough and I got a lot of work to do. Let's get these pups here. So 9:30 p.m. on the 15th, Fern decided to start delivering the pups, and we were ready for her. We've been keeping an eye on her and didn't let her out of our sight, and we're glad we didn't, because she started delivering these pups, and they started coming fast, and by 9:30 a.m. Friday morning, we'd had an all-night party, and all 12 of these pups were here. So they're doing great. All of them were born healthy and well, and we have a fair variety in size with this many pups. It's not unusual with larger litters to have smaller pups. It's just the way the nutrition gets passed around, and enough room to develop and grow and everything. So these pups had to share a ride together, and they all had to fit in the same space together, and so we're happy to tell you all about them and everything that we know so far. I'm going to start at the beginning and just go through my list. I'm not going to go out of order, but I've got a list here, but I don't want to miss any of the pups. So this is no particular order, other than this is just how we started writing everything down as we gave all the pups different colors and started doing their weights and making our notes about them. And so we're going to start with dark purple up here. She's going to be our first one, and so we'll do dark purple. I'm just going to leave them all here for a minute and go over a few details while you can see them all together, kind of because a few of these pups are nursing and I want them to finish. So dark purple is 0.79 pounds. Light purple over here, she is 0.9 pounds. Dark pink is 0.83 pounds. Light pink up here, she is 0.59 pounds. Yellow back over here is 0.61 pounds, and Miss Teal over here is 0.57 pounds. Neon up here is 0.63 pounds. Mr. Green, starting the boys, is 0.83 pounds. Mr. Blue over here, snack it away, he is 0.79 pounds. Mr. Red is 0.85 pounds. Mr. Orange over here is 0.9 pounds. And Mr. Brown is 1.08 pounds. So all the boys ended up being pretty good sized pups. And then the girls in general ended up being slightly smaller, with the exception of light purple here. She's 0.9 pounds, and dark pink, pretty good sized female at 0.83 pounds. So a lot of the girls ended up being little pixie petite girls. I wouldn't call them runts. They're still healthy and doing well. They are smaller, but with this litter size, I would say that's to be expected. So we got quite a wide variety of sizes between all the pups, which we're grateful for. We have several requests for both ends of the spectrum of the size of pups, and so we get people that would like a smaller pup, we get people that want a little larger pup. There's no right or wrong there, and so it's always nice when we get a little bit of variety to try to help the families find a pup that's within some of their preferred criteria. So we delivered these pups basically in our family room, where that worked out the best for us, and then we moved them to kind of a more quiet, secluded area where they can be a little bit more, so Fern can get a little more rest and undisturbed. And Fern thought she needed to keep moving these pups around, so she's kind of been picking them up and moving them around. We had a slight mishap with that. Dark Pink, if you can see over here, she sustained a small injury on her side when Fern was moving the pups and we weren't right there at the moment. She decided to try to move them when we weren't looking, and she didn't bite Dark Pink, but snagged her as she was going through an opening and had a slight injury there. And Light Pink over here, I'm going to leave her going while she's nursing, but Light Pink over here has an injury on the back of her leg as well. So they're healing up from that just fine, no problems, no infection. We'll just keep watching those, and they should do fine there too. Where these pups were born in the middle of the night Thursday, we called the vet on Friday, and that was too soon to get the pups into a vet. But we will take the pups into the vet Monday, and they will be docking the tails and then removing the dew claws. I'll see if I can get a puppy paw over here. You can see these dew claws that poke out. They're like a thumb side of their paw, and it's just on their front paws. And these things are absolutely tiny now. They're a very minor procedure to take them off. Yes, the puppies do feel them and they squeal for about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then they hardly know what happened after that, and they settle back in, and then they're just fine after that. Same with their tails. So we do feel like the pups feel it. Their full systems for nerves and things like that are not 100% developed yet, but they are developed enough where they feel that. But being an active breed, it's best to take those dew claws and tails off now, before they're super large, and the injuries to those can be a huge mess later on in life. So Monday will be the day that gets taken care of, and the pups will do just fine with that. At the moment, these pups are young enough, their eyes are sealed and their ears are sealed. Mr. Brown here, he's showing off what a inside of a sealed ear looks like. So from what we can tell, they can't hear. If they can, they don't exhibit any kind of indication that they can hear or see any differences in light and darkness and things like that through their eyelids. And so these pups are completely dependent on their sense of smell and touch, and so that's how they figure out where mama is and figure out where the milk comes from. So Fern should do great with producing enough milk for these pups. Their body systems ramp up when there's increased demand, and so we will assist with any of the pups if needed to help supplement them. If it just feels like that they need to try to keep up with their siblings, with this size of a litter. We've done that in the past and had great success. So none of the pups are going to be malnourished or underfed by any means. But Fern's milk should be able to keep up with that, and if not, we'll take care of them otherwise. So looks like most of these pups that we've been waiting for finishing eating have done so. These fellows are still going, but we're going to start with the girls first, and then we'll move on to the boys. So dark purple was 0.79 pounds. She is a mostly solid pup. I'm going to turn her over. I gotta set the camera down and get it at a better angle. Then I'll turn her over and show her off to you. Okay, I think that's gonna work. My knee's in the shot, but that's all right. So, dark purple. She's mostly solid, and I'm gonna tip her back, just show her to you. So we know that it's within breed standard to have markings on the chest and toes, and outside of those areas would be considered non-conforming, and that does occur at times. But she is mostly solid. She has a very slight marking down by her groin area. You may not even be able to see it on camera, but there's just a couple of hairs down there that are very white, and so she's slightly marked down there and mostly solid. So her paws are solid, so within breed standard they're allowed to have some markings on their feet, but her paws are solid, and she is an otherwise solid pup. Just as cute as can be at this age. Look how adorable that is. 0.79 pounds. So that's dark purple. Oh, light purple came in for a little snack while I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry, light purple, you're next. So I'm gonna be the mean guy here for a minute and make you show off for the camera. So this is light purple, 0.9 pounds. And so largest of the females. She's got a very slight chest marking. You can see that here. Just a few hairs. Those are likely to be very, very minor as far as being noticeable later on down the road. So her neck, there may be a few white hairs up in her collar area. That'll be hard to know if that's just me seeing it in this particular light or if there's something else going on there. And then she's got a few white hairs in the groin area. You can tell that these pups are brand new. Their umbilical cords are still drying up, so you'll see them. Some have fallen off or are shorter than others, but some still have theirs. And so, anyways, back to light purple. Her back left foot, there's a few white hairs there. They're very few, but there are likely to be some markings on her toes. So that is light purple. So dark pink coming up here. Dark pink is 0.83 pounds. She has markings on her back left foot, and then her back right foot is heavily marked. She's going to have kind of stocking feet for her toes back there. She's healing up from that little spot from Mama carrying her. She's doing well there. Solid on the chest and neck area, and then just a few, ever so few light hairs down the groin. So those may not be noticeable almost at all as she grows up. So light pink is 0.59 pounds. So this is light pink, and just tiny and cute as can be. She has some markings on her back right toes. The back right toe is fairly marked, and then very slight marking on her groin, almost not noticeable. You may not be able to see that in the camera. Other than that, mostly solid pup there. So, sorry I bumped the camera. So that is light pink there. And then Miss Yellow hiding over here. Miss Yellow is 0.61 pounds. So our small pups are teal, yellow, light pink. And so these pups are of a size, they're so close to the same size. Their size difference on our notes here may be so close that their primary difference is just who ate last and who went potty first. And so it's one of those things, they're almost basically the same size when you take that into account. So Miss Yellow is 0.61 pounds. She has a very slight marking on her chest, but noticeable. So if you can see that, try to tip her up without making her too uncomfortable. Right there, it's about the size of the ballpoint pen tip there. Not very big, and nothing on the chest, nothing on the back toes. So that is Miss Yellow. Oh, I think she does have a slightly marked groin area. If I pay attention to that, just a few hairs that may have a slightly marked groin area. So that is Miss Yellow, just an absolute doll. So Miss Teal, oh, Miss Neon, she's kind of a little one too. She's in here. So 0.63 pounds on Neon. So Neon, Teal, Yellow, and Pink, they're all kind of our pixie girls in size, slightly different in size from each other. But Teal is 0.57 pounds. So she's very slightly marked on her groin, but mostly solid otherwise. Her groin marking may just be the light that I'm looking at. So she's mostly solid. Solid on the neck, solid on the chest, solid on her toes. So she is doing great, Miss Teal. So Neon, sorry Neon, I'm gonna be the mean guy and pull you away here for a minute. We'll let Miss Teal take a turn. Miss Neon here, 0.63 pounds, and solid. From what we can tell, there may just be an ever so slightly marked neck. There might be a couple hairs in there that are marked. There may be, maybe, I can't see it now. Some of these markings, we see them in the light, and it's just the way the light glistens off of them. There may be a very slightly marked couple of hairs in the calico on her chest. So Neon is otherwise solid. Her toes are looking solid. Her all of her feet. So that is Miss Neon. And that finishes up our 7 girls. Amazing to have 7 in one litter. Mr. Green, he's going to be next. And to find him here, he had crawled underneath my leg there. So Mr. Green, 0.83 pounds. He's mostly solid. And you can see his size difference compared to Teal. That's what 0.83 pounds and 0.57 pound difference looks like. So it feels like a pretty noticeable difference when you look at him. So these boys they just came out big. So Mr. Green, he's mostly solid. We're not seeing any markings on his chest or neck. His toes are feeling mostly solid. And he has very slightly marked groin area too. You might see that in the camera, just a few hairs there, and other than that, he's solid. So Mr. Blue over here, he's been pigging out for a while. I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera or not, but Mr. Blue, he's looking fairly dark compared to his siblings. And he is 0.79 pounds. He's mostly solid as well. He has a more marked groin area though. You might be able to see that on the camera. He's got more hairs that are marked down there. So his toes are looking solid. Chest is looking solid. He's still got some afterbirth in his toe. Look at that. Right there. Clean that off. Sorry, Mr. Blue. So we'll get that cleaned off. There we go. So Mr. Blue is mostly solid and one of the darker pups. We'll get these pups all lined up here in a second and look to see them side by side. Mr. Red over here, he is a little bit lighter. Not really what I would consider kind of blonde for a Vizsla. He's middle range, but lighter compared to some of his siblings. And he is 0.85 pounds. He has more markings than most of his siblings. He's got a marking on his chest. It's fairly pronounced. He has a very slightly marked area on his collar area, just right in the crease of his neck. There's a few hairs there. He has the marked groin area as well. And then he has his marked back right toe and his marked back left toe. That's less marked. It's just slightly marked if you turn it. So I could be wrong with his back left, but his back right is definitely marked. So that is Mr. Red. And next we'll go to Mr. Orange. He's hiding over here. He's about the same color as Red, just a shade darker than Red. You can see those differences there. We've got Mr. Red, Orange, and Blue from lighter to darker. And so Mr. Orange here, he is mostly solid. We're not seeing any markings on his chest or neck. His groin is very slightly marked, and his toes, we're thinking those are looking solid as well. So very lightly marked, otherwise solid pup, Mr. Orange. Oh, he's 0.9 pounds. I think I forgot to mention that in this segment. I said it earlier, but he's 0.9 pounds. So, last but not least is Mr. Brown. He's the heavy hitter of the bunch at 1.08 pounds. And he's mostly solid. We're not seeing any markings on his toes. Actually, in this light, now that I'm looking at it, there may be a hint on his back left, maybe, if I hold it in the right light. And then his chest area, we're not seeing any markings there. On his calic or neck, he is slightly marked in his groin area, just a few hairs there. So the big boy is otherwise mostly solid, Mr. Brown. So it'll be a little bit of a trick to see if I can get all these pups lined up in one shot and see if we can show you these pups side by side. You know what? I know it's not going to work. I know from experience, as soon as you start moving pups, they think it's mama trying to get them over to have a drink. So I'm just going to leave them where they lay and go from there. So we got light purple here, light pink. And now you can see her little scratch there from this angle. got dark purple right here, Mr. Red, brown, and we got neon tucked away over here. She finished her dinner, and Grain is really going after some milk there and trying to get his chance at dinner. And then we got yellow and orange. They're kind of competing over here for the spots. And down here we've got dark pink. She's right down in the mix of everything with their turn for dinner time. And then we've got teal. Teal's collar, a little bit loose. It's worked its way down around her leg. I'll have to fix that. We'll tighten that up a little bit, get that in there. That needs to go. At the moment, I bumped the camera and that's going to slide off. Okay, we got Teal's color fixed. Mr. Red here. He's just tucked down underneath Mr. Brown. There you go, Mr. Red. How's that? Is that more comfortable? Oh yeah. He's got a tummy full of milk and he's just saying, I am good. I'm good. So these pups are doing great. They're all nursing well. And they've got this all figured out. You know, when it's their turn, they go in, they get their drink, and they just keep on a self-regulating rotation. And Miss Fern here has just done great. She has been fabulous about taking care of these pups. She's very intent on their well-being. Anytime we start handling the pups, then she's got her nose right in there saying, hey, these are my pups, what are you doing? You gonna give them back to me? And we always give them back to her, and then she's fine with us handling them, and it's just great. It's amazing to see their instinct take over as these pups arrive, and they just know exactly what to do with taking care of these pups. So I'll just end with this cute little segment of all these pups together. They're doing great, and we're excited to share them with you and let you see these pups, and we'll keep you posted about a weekly basis with new videos and updates on how things are going. Thanks for watching.